Today I will continue the material about system modeling. So you can see from the basic material that I sent to you, I will explain to you about what is validation, what is verification, and what is the trap when we make model. So you can see from this picture, as you know that a system consists of element in the system, and the second system have interaction of each element in the system, and the third, every system have objective or purpose. So that is when we say about the system. As this is a model, can you see from this figure in the model, we have a lot step to make from a system to be a model. This is you can see from the manager situation. You can make from manager situation become a conceptual model, rigorous formulation until we can achieve a scientific model. As you know, to learn the system, the first we can learn from the model. From the model, we can see everything about the system. So when we make the model, the requirement to make the model should represent a system. In this case, a model is represented in the system. It means when we see the system, there are a lot of feature in the system, and we will put the feature in the model of the system. So uh, a requirement a model become a good model is every feature in the system, a lot of feature in the system exists in the model. So a model is a representation of the system in a simpler form according to need and the goal of modeler. So every people will make a model different for the other one, depend on the need or the goal of the modeler. As you can see from the picture, the following is the simple model, right? We can divide the scoping of the system and become as is model, to be a model, should be a model, and until could be model. This is different differentiates between model in the system. And can you see from this picture, this is the modeling step in the modeling. The first, before we make a model from the system, we should understand what the mission of the system. So you should analyze what the mission of the system, because without you understand the mission of the system, you can identify the element in the system, you can identify the relationship in the system, and you can identify the objective of the system. So in the next step, after we analyze the mission of the system, we should identify the need or requirement of stakeholder. So before you identify the need or requirement of stakeholder, so the first you should identify what is the stakeholder in the system. Maybe more than one. So a lot of stakeholder in the system. So a lot of need or requirement of the system. From mission analysis and stakeholder need requirement, you should understand about the system requirement. You should identify what's the requirement in the system, not only the requirement of the stakeholder, but you should understand about the requirement of the system. And you combine mission analysis, stakeholder need and stakeholder requirement and system requirement, and you start to make conceptual model. From the conceptual model, you should elaborate the model, compare the model to the system until you can get the scientific model. This is the ultimate model that you can achieve after you have a lot of steps to make a model. Okay, this is the other sample about the system in the model. And you can see from that one, we can summarize the model step can be visualized into the following step. The first, identify what's the objective of the analysis, identify stakeholder needs, you identify system requirement, and you combine a lot of the requirement, become a conceptual model, and elaborate the model until you can get scientific model. And from this figure, you can see this model can be repeated more than one cycle. Can you see from this one? The first time, maybe you can make system element, you identify a system element, and you can identify what's the interaction between system element until become system of interest. This is a system interest. And after that, you identify the related system, and you combine all. This is become wider system or containing system. And in the next, you identify what is the external system and internal system. From external system, you can differentiate between relevant environment and irrelevant environment. Depend on the characteristic interaction between system and the environment. When the environment give input to the system and system give output to the environment, so that is become relevant environment. However, when the system not give input to the system and the system not give input to the environment, so that is become not relevant environment, and so on and so on. And you can see what is the system interest. When you study about the system, you should understand about what is system interest. In simplification, the system interest is the system that is the focus of researcher attention. For example, in Indonesian government, maybe you only focus on the financial interaction, or in maybe only in natural resources. So natural resources environment become researcher attention for you. Financial problem become researcher attention. So everybody, when they see the system, have different system interests. So you should identify what the system interest of each stakeholder in the system. From this statement, we can see the system that is relevant to the scope of observation study. So before you make a model to study about the system, you should identify what your system interest and what's your observation study. Because from the system interest, you can identify what's the problem that you want to solve from the system. And the next, you should understand also about problem domain. What is the domain? In simplification, we can identify the problem domain is the context where the problem is located. How we can identify where the problem is located? Simplification. For simplification, we can see what is the representation the situation where the solution must function. So one feature how we can identify the problem domain depend on the situation to implement the solution. Everybody maybe will make a problem domain different because have a point of view different to represent situation where the solution must function. Maybe someone want to represent the situation in the one condition and the other people want to represent the situation in the other condition. So we can conclude the problem domain is the context where the problem is located. Problem represent situation where the situation must function. Can you differentiate what the main problem domain? Fadel, Hakam, Satrio, Nicholas. How about the other one? Aldi. Aldi not available. Aldi and Yamen, Ahmed.
Yeah.
Okay, I continue the material. So you know about the system interest and problem domain. And the next we can see from the principle when we make a model in the system. When make a model, we should understand about the requirement for the system. In the modeling, there are several principles that we need to be understand. Yeah, without you understand the several principles, so maybe you make the model, but the model is not represent the system. So you should understand what is the principle in the system and how we can implement the principle when we make a model. The first principle is elaboration principle. What is elaboration principle? When we make elaboration principle, in simplification, elaboration principle is the process of expanding or extending a model. It means you can start from the simple model. After you see more about the system from the simple model, you can make more until you expand the model, extending the model until you can achieve ultimate model, a scientific model. This is the simplification of elaboration principle. And the next is iterative model. What the iterative model? Iterative or the means of iterative principle is the model that you make is carried out repeatedly by reviewing the model. It means you can start from the simple model and you see the system, you improve the model, you see the system again and you make the model, you improve the model and so on and so on. So the process is iterative principle. So the model is not developed linearly. So not means from the step one you get to the step two, you get the step three, and so on and so on. No, maybe from the step two you can back to step one. From the step three you can back to step two, or you can back to step one. So we can conclude in the iterative principle, the model development is carried out repeatedly by reviewing the model. It means we can create until a model close to the real system, right? You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Can you see this figure? From this figure, we can see for study case how we can solve the risk-based spiral model. For example, when you identify the problem in the system and you can make step determine the objective, you identify what's your objective to solve the problem. After that, you identify how we can solve the problem, especially in this case, is about the risk. And the next step, we develop a solution and the test solution. And the next, we can see the solution is make sense or no. After you identify, you make sense or no about the solution, you make a plan to the next iteration. It means how we can implement the incremental and evolutionary develop. You can see from this quadrant, the first quadrant is determine objective, and the second we identify and resolve the problem, and the next way we can develop and test the solution, and the next we can plan the next iteration. For simplification, we can divide like this figure. Maybe you can modify, maybe not in this step. Maybe you not only about the development, the solution and test. Maybe you can improvement the solution here, and after you give improvement solution here, you continue to the plan for the next iteration. something like that until we can ultimate model. Okay, this is just for example how we can make ultimate model. Any question? Okay. Okay, I continue to elaboration in the model. This is several principle when we make elaboration in the model. For simplification, elaboration is expanding of the model from the simple model until we can achieve ultimate model. This is simplification for elaboration in the model. So this is the principle in elaboration model. The first principle is iterative. What the means of iterative? It means when you make a model, you can eliminate element or interaction between non-essential element. So it means when you see the model, with me, I will show you the figure. Okay, right. I will show you with me. Just a moment. I want so the figure you can differentiate what the means of principle. Okay, you see this figure. This is a system, have a lot of element in the system, have a lot of interaction in the system, and still have one objective in the system. And for the system, you want to solve the problem in the system or you want to improve the system. For the study the system, you make the model, maybe because the reason you can't study directly from the system, so you can make the model to study the system. After you find solution from the model, so you can implement the solution to the system. This is some simplification technique that you can done to make a model. The first principle is eliminate. What is the eliminate? You can see from this figure. From this figure, you can see in the eliminate principle, you can eliminate elements or interaction of element between non-essential element. For example, you have 1, 2, 3 until 10 element. When you identify this is appropriate, not appropriate, this is appropriate, this is appropriate, this is appropriate, this is not appropriate, this is not appropriate. So after you identify the element and the system, you can eliminate this one, and this one. So from the 10 element, you only have 3 elements. So this is simplification about the elimination. Ahmed, how are you today, Ahmed?
Yeah, sorry about to be late because there is someone he tried to make like incorrect password in my laptop and there is a problem.
Okay, you still in Indonesia?
Yeah, actually I'm in Masjid.
Okay,
Okay,
Ahmed. Yeah,
sorry
thank
again.
you. Okay, Fadel Hakam Satrio Nicholas. Rio Aldi, Son Aldi not available. Okay, I continue. For the next step to simplification technique is segmented. What the segmented? The segmented mean you can break into several segments and you can achieve model them partially. For example, this is you start from this one, you can identify a lot of system, a lot of element and interaction in the system, and you break from a lot of element in the system into two or more than two. And after you break into several segments, you can choose which one the model them partially. From this one, you can make this one become submodel, and this is become submodel, and so on and so on. So depend on you see from the model. It means you identify first for element in the system and interaction in the system, and you classify. This is in the system. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, depend on the situation of the system. After you identify the class in the system and your classification of the element or interaction in the system into classification that you can achieve. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying about segmenting? Okay. Ria, do you understand? Okay. Can you differentiate between element and segment? Uh, Okay. I want to correct your statement, Rio. This is eliminate, segment, modularize, standardize, combine, rearrange, and so on and so on. This is some simplification technique. So you can see from the previous slide, when we make a model, we should implement some principle. The first principle is elaboration principle. The elaboration principle is process to expand or extend the model from the simple model until you can achieve ultimate model that's similar to the system. This is the first principle. And the second principle is iterative principle. What is the iterative principle? This principle is about when we make a model, we should carry out repeatedly or reviewing the model to create the model until we can achieve the ultimate the model. So the process is iterative, not directly from one, two, and so on and so on. And the third principle is simplification principle. So when we want to implement a simplification principle, we need a lot of tool to simplification. So eliminate, segment, modularize, standardize, combine, rearrange is the step to simplification technique in the system. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, okay. Thank you, Rio. Okay. So, mm, can you see from this eliminate? So I repeat again. In the eliminate, this eliminate, segment, modularize, standardize, combine, rearrange is some simplification technique. So when you want achieve the simple model, you can combine. Maybe you can eliminate, maybe you can use segment, maybe you can modularize, you can standardize, and so on and so on. Depend the requirement of the system. The eliminate means we can eliminate element or interaction element that not essential element. So the first step, you identify what is the element in the system. Maybe this one, this one, and after that you identify this is essential, not essential, this is not essential, this is not essential. So from a lot of element in the system, you maybe the rest you only have three element in the system. It means how we can simplification the model from the eliminate technique. And the second is segment technique. What is segment technique? In the segment technique, we break into several segments. From this one, we can make classify into two segments. Maybe for the other case, you can classify into three, four, and so on and so on segment, depend on classification that you should. Okay, the next is modulized. What is the modulized? In modulized, the model is several modules and integrate them. It means from the element in the system, you identify how many module in the system. Maybe this one, the module one is consists of two element. This one is consists of three element. This one is five element, and so on and so on. So the first step, you do not see relationship among the element in the system, but you see the relationship between the module in the system. Can you see? Okay, the next techniques is standardized. In standardized, you control element or interaction between element within certain tolerance limits. So it means you identify first what is the tolerance limits that appropriate for the system depend on you as observer or stakeholder that have the problem. So first you identify what's the element in the system, and for the next step you identify how you can control element, how you can control interaction between element from the certain tolerance limitation. For example, you can see this one. Oh, this one you can control from this one. This one you can control from this one. This one you can control from this one. So this one maybe become independent variable. This one become dependent variable, or vice versa, depend on the situation. Okay, in standardized like this. And the next, we can combine technique. Oh, what is the combined technique? In the combined technique, we combine element or interaction between element. For example, you identify this element and this element, and you can see this element and this element. You can combine, become only one element. So although you have a lot of element in the system, maybe you can simply simplify, become maybe two, three, four, depend on your requirement. So the system become more simplification. Okay, the next technique is rearrange technique. What's the rearrange technique? In the rearrange technique, you rearrange the series or interaction between element in the architecture. You can see the figure. You can see this one, this one, this one. Oh, this one influence this one, this one influence this one. So from more complicated the system, you can make more simplification like this. Okay, so in a rearrange, you see the series or interaction between element the system. If the interaction or series interaction between the element, you can simplification the relation between the element until you can make the simple model like this. So this one, eliminate, segment, modularize, standardize, combine, rearrange is part of how we can simplification the model. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Bu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will continue to the next slide. Okay, this is the last material that I will explain to you. This is about system. The previous I will explain about the system, so I do not repeat again. And this is the system approach. In this section, we will continue the term that we use in the system modeling. So when we make a model in the system, when you study about the system modeling, a lot of term that we use in the system modeling. So you should understand what the term in the system modeling, like what is the system, what is the element in the system, what is the model, how we can make a simplification model, and so on and so on. And in this part, we can see the system approach. What is the system approach? For the simplification in the system approach is a approach that we use to solve the problem that we found in the system. It means when see the system and you see there are a lot of problem, you focus on one or certain problem to solve the problem. And to solve the problem, you need the approach. So the approach that you use to solving the problem, we say the system approach. So by studying the system structure and interaction between its element, so we can provide alternative solution. Like this is, for example, this is sub problem. We can break from sub problem into individual problem, and we make sub solution and overall solution. This is step how we can make system approach. Okay. This is the previous that I explained to you how we can simplification of the model, eliminate, segment, modularize, and standardize, combine, and rearrange. Okay, can you see this one? In the new previous, I explained to you that when we see the system, we can use in front of, or we can use from outside us. So in the next perspective, we can differentiate the modeling perspective into functional perspective, structural perspective, and hierarchical perspective. What's different between the functional, structure, and hierarchical perspective? You can see from the first figure. In the functional perspective, we focus on the function. So refer to the name, the functional perspective. In the first, we focus on the function in the system. It means when we see the system, we identify which one the input, which one the output, which one the status variable of the system. So when you differentiate input, status of the system, and output, so you see the system based on the functional perspective. And the second one, we can see the structural perspective. What is the structural perspective? When you use structural perspective, so we pay attention to the structure in the system. What the structure in the system? Can you remember the system consists of element, interaction in the system, and purpose of the system. So when you identify what's the element of the system, what is the relationship between the system, and what the purpose of the system, so you can see the system based on the structural perspective. Okay, for the next one, we can use perspective hierarchy. What is the hierarchical perspective? In the hierarchical perspective, we see the system is the arrangement of the level of the system. For this figure, you can see this is super system. Super system consists of system, system, system. And the system consists of subsystem, subsystem, subsystem. And subsystem consists of subsystem, 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 and so on, and so on. So when you can see the hierarchy, the system, you see the class of the system. So you see the system based on hierarchical perspective. So when someone asks, which one we use when we analyze the system? Maybe we can use three perspectives in the same time because this perspective will complement each other. So when we make a model more representative of the system, we can combine from a lot of perspective. Or maybe for first time you identify the system, you can use the functional. Maybe you can start from structural perspective. You can identify which one the element, which one the relationship, which one the objective of the system. And after you identify the structural perspective, you identify what's the function in the system. You identify what is the input. So when you see the input, so you see the interaction between relevant environment and the system, what the relevant environment give to the system, and you identify the output. When you see the output, when you identify the output, you can see what's the system give to the relevant environment. So from this perspective, you can see what the interaction between system and the environment. And the next, maybe you want to see what is the interaction between subsystem and subsystem, subsystem and subsystem, and you want to see which one you should control first. So you can use the hierarchical perspective. For example, when you want to control the system, so you should identify what is subsystem. After you can control the subsystem, you can control the system. After you can control the system, you can control the super system, and so on, like that. So depend on the objective, what you make the model. So in the real situation, you can combination from three perspective. Okay, this is just for sample. We can make a model. Okay. You can differentiate from this figure how scientific method work and how engineering method work. In scientific method work, we start from ask a question. However, in engineering method, we start from define the problem because a scientific method and engineering method different from the starting point. In the scientific method, from the ask question, we follow the background research, or same with engineering method. And the scientific method, we continue to construct hypothesis. And this one, we continue to the specific requirement. So in the engineering method, we focus on how we can solve the problem in the system, how we can deliver solution to the problem. In vice versa, in scientific method, we focus on the question. The question is maybe start from the problem that a stakeholder want, or maybe from the knowledge, what we want to improve from the knowledge, and so on and so on. And you can see we can test the experiment, work or no. If no, we can back to the test experiment. If yes, we continue the analysis the data, result alignment, and we can communicate the result. In the vice versa, in engineering method, after we do background research, we specify the requirement, and after that we can brainstorming to stakeholder, problem owner, problem decision, problem user, and so on and so on. And we can develop prototype solution. From the solution, we can test this is appropriate or not. If this is appropriate, we can communicate the result. So you can see what's the different and the same between scientific method and engineering method. In the real system, we use scientific method and engineering method. So in industrial engineering, we use the scientific method and engineering method. For example, in thesis, in final project, you can use that scientific method, and vice versa. When you do project, you can use the engineering method. Okay. Okay, can you see this figure? From this figure, we can see how we can make a model from the real model. For example, you can start from the system theory. You can see the theory that scientists make from the previous experiment. They have a lot of system theory. And from the system theory, maybe you can make the conceptual model. See what your conceptual model is. same with the system theory, so you can make conceptual model validation. So the conceptual model validation is comparing between conceptual model that you make compared to the system theory. When the conceptual model that you make is same with the system theory, it means that your conceptual model is validated. And the next step from the conceptual model, you make model specification. From the model specification, you should verification also. In the verification, you compare between the model specification and conceptual model. When the model specification is similar or same with the conceptual model, it means the model specification is verified. And after you make model specification, you continue to scientific model. This is ultimate model that have a lot of requirement from the conceptual model and model specification. Also, in this step, you compare again from scientific model to model specification. When the scientific model that you make is similar to the model specification, so we can say the scientific model that you make is have verification step. And from scientific model, you can continue the scientific model data. It means you collect the data to support experimentation to support the scientific model. This is to make hypothesis, to test hypothesis, and you compare the hypothesis that you make to the system theory. When your hypothesis is approved, the system theory, it means the final result of your process. Okay, so you can see the conceptual model validation is a lot of step. This is we have conceptual model validation. This is theory validation. This is operational validation. So we have a lot of validation when we make model. And you have a lot of verification also. In this step, you have specific verification. In this step, you have implementation verification. So why we should a lot of validation? Why we should make a lot of verification? It to assure that model that you have, that you make is similar to the system, because you will study the system in the model. When the model that you make is not represent the system, so when you make experiment in this in the model, it not represent the system. And when you test in the model, you solve the problem and implement to the system, maybe the solution is not work because the model is not represent the system. So you should understand how we can make the model similar to the system. Okay. Requirement. You see this figure. A lot of requirement when you make the model. The first one, you identify real need. What the need from the system depend on the situation. This is scientific or engineering. And after that, you see perceive the need. Yeah, so you can combine with real the need and perceive the need. The perceive the need maybe become from the customer and so on and so on. That they see the need from the situation, and the real needs. It means your interpretation from the customer wants and from the stakeholder wants, not only from customer, maybe from scientific need or from technological need. From this one, you can express to the need, and from the express the need, you classify which one the appropriate for the situation or not. And from this, after you selection this expression need, you can achieve the written need. From the written need, you will specific again the specification need. This is the focus. You want to solve the problem in the system. After this, you can see design and implementation and realize the need. So how we use a lot of steps. It means we want to achieve the solution that will satisfy a lot of stakeholder in the system. Okay. Requirement. When we make a model, you see this one. when we make a model, maybe sometimes we make error in the model. Why? Why we make error in the model? The first one, maybe we not involve stakeholder. For example, in the system, actually you have 5 stakeholder in the system. Maybe from who someone invests in the system or who someone government and so on and so on. But from the 5 stakeholder, you only identify one stakeholder, or maybe you identify 2 stakeholder. So we can say the stakeholder that you identify is not involving all stakeholder that you should involve in the system. And the second error when you model the system is incomplete element. It means when you see this one, you see this one have this element, this have this element, have this element. Let's say we have 10 element in the system, but maybe because you hurry to make a model, you only identify only 5 element in the model. So in this situation, we'll make error in the modeling because you not incomplete element identify. And the third, the error is source from incomplete interaction. Let's say you have 10 interaction between A to B, A to C, A to D, D to C, and so on and so on. But maybe you not see in detail, so you only identify 5 interactions, so the model become not complete. The model is not appropriate, not the model is not represent the system because you incomplete identify the interaction in the system. And the other error in the model is such from too many assumption. When we make a model, we can make assumption in about the model, but you should remember, uh, increasing assumption that you use, increasing error that you make. So actually, when you make assumption, only one, two, or maybe when you want without assumption, so the models become similar the system. Okay, so I repeat again, the error in model maybe become not involve stakeholder, and the second incomplete element, and the third is incomplete interaction, and the fourth is too many assumption that you use in the model. Okay, any question? Okay, I continue. When we see about the requirement, when we identify the requirement in the system, you must attention in the first is stakeholder requirement. It means you should identify what is the requirement of all of stakeholder in the system. And the second, you should identify the requirement of the system. It means every system have requirement. For example, when we see the bank system, you should identify not only stakeholder requirement, but you should see the system requirement. For example, in the bank system, you need security requirement. You need to balancing money requirement and so on and so on. So you should identify system requirement. And the third is scientific and technology requirements. Science technology requirement is related to how we can develop technology and science, how we can develop new knowledge to develop the next science and technology. Okay. We can say we should focus on stakeholder requirement, system requirement, and science or technology requirement. Okay. What we should consider when we make a model? Any question? Do you understand what I'm saying? How come? Do you understand? Rio, do you understand, Rio? Nicholas?
Yes, bro.
Okay, I will continue. Okay, what we should consider when we make a model. The first, when we make a model, you should consider that the model is only tool to solve the problem. Yes. So from this statement, you can see to solve the problem, you should you as modeler, you must really understand how the system. So without you understand about the system, so you can't make a model. So I repeat again, the model is only tool to solve the problem. The main in the modeling system is you should understand about the system. And the second one, when you make a model, you should focus on purpose when you make the model. So every people have a different purpose. So from different purpose, they will make different model. So when you make a model, you must focus on the purpose, what you make the model to solve the problem in the system. And the third, you should understand the model must describe how the real system interact. It means you should identify the interaction between element in the system and how the element will influence the other one. So the model must describe how the real system interact. Okay. I repeat again, when you make a system, you should understand the model is only tools. So you should understand what the objective you make a model. So you should understand what's your objective when you make a model. And the second one, you should focus on the purpose of you making a model. Because the purpose will influence how you solve the problem. And the third, you should describe element in the system, and you should describe how interaction among element in the system. Okay. Okay. I will continue to verification and validation. The previous I showed to you the interaction between verification and validation when we make a model, and how we can relate the model to the system. In simplification, the verification is process evaluating the model. How we can see whether the model it meets requirement or not. So in the verification, we can divide into static verification and dynamic verification. What is static verification? In the static verification, this is related to systematic representation analysis. It means when you want to find the problem in the system and you want to solve the problem in the system, you should identify which one the systematic representation of analysis of your system. So in static verification, is concern is focused on how we see the systematic representation analysis, how we can analyze the representation of the system to find the solution of the problem. In vice versa, in dynamic verification, we focus on implementation. After you have solution from the problem, and you want to implement the solution to the system, so you should identify identification, what is structure the system, what is the behavior of the system. So you use dynamic verification. Okay. In this slide, you can differentiate between static verification and dynamic verification. Okay. The next one is validation. What is the validation? Yeah. Can you see from the previous I showed to you in the validation is process to evaluate. What we evaluate in validation? we evaluate the model, whether the model is represent the system or not. Okay, so in simple statement in the validation, we compare between model and the system. What is the model represent the system or not? When we identify, when we analyze what the represent or not, the model that you make represent the system or not. So this process is validation model. In the validation model, we can use a lot of technique, a lot of technique. I show to you two validation techniques. The first is black box validation, and the second is white box validation. What is different between black box validation and what is the white box validation? Okay, wait. Okay, you see this one. The first one for black box. The first one you have identified the data x1, x2, x3, and so on and so on until xn. From this one, you have output. This one is input, and you have output like this. The output is like this. And you make what is the relationship between x1 until xn to the y. And you have a relationship like this. After you have this model, and you will validate this model is valid, this is appropriate or not. You use the same data from historical data. Maybe this is from months 2, and you can use the previous data from the months ones. You have, for example, this one x11, x12, x13, and so on and so on. And you try this one, you input this one to this function. And when the function make the same output, so we can say the model become represent the system. This means of black box validation. So in the black box validation, we test from the historical data to see the real system. If the real system can we get from the previous data, so we can say the model is validated. In vice versa, we can use the white box validation. White box validation, we do not use the data to make validation this model. We only use the logic, how the previous situation will influence to the system. So in the white box validation, we test the logic to see if the model element and the relationship of the system make the same behavior. So for simplification, in the in white box validation, in white box validation, we only see the relationship and interaction, the element and interaction in the system. This is similar or not in the model with the system. When the element and the relationship in the model is similar with the system, so we can say the model is validated, different from black box validation. Can you differentiate between black box validation and white box validation? Fadel, you hear me or no? Huh? Satu, ya Rio? Oh, Okay. Okay. Verification is different from validation. Verification is different from validation. Can you see this? Okay, before I explain again what is different between validation and verification. Can you differentiate between the tools to identify the model validation? We can use black box validation and white box validation. Rio, you can understand what is the black box validation and what is white box validation? Okay, and five S of a white box we use. Okay, yes, right. The logic, a relationship between element and relationship or interaction between element. Okay. Nicholas, do you understand? Akam, do you understand? Fadel, do you
Ya,
understand?
Bu.
Yes, Bu.
Okay. I think nobody hear me. So pity, nobody hear me. Are you sleepy? Huh? Can you see this one? You should differentiate between validation and verification. In simplification, validation is compare between system to the model. In simulation, you will study in simulation. For example, you see the system. From the system, you make conceptual model. Comparing between conceptual model to the system, it means validation. From conceptual model, you make a simulation model. Simulation model. For example, you can use ACD and so on and so on. And simulation model, you maybe use arena and so on and so on. When you compare between simulation model and conceptual model, it means verification. And the next, you can compare again between simulation model to the system. This process is uh, very validation model, right? So validation is comparing between the model to the real system. What the model represent the system or no? What the simulation model represent the system or no? When we say the verification is not comparing between the conceptual to the system, but the verification is to see the model is work or no. For example, when you make the bugging and so on and so on, that is part of verification to see the simulation model same with the conceptual model or no. What's the arena model? Is same with the SCD or no? That is the process of verification. Okay. Okay. You study again what every material that I send to you from the basic material and from the advanced material. Any question from this session? If no,
Uh,
I will. Yeah.
so, Bu, for our midterm, which
Mm.
is the material, Bu?
Mm. All.
All the material.
Yes, similar with the previous I sent to examination to you.
Oh, okay, Bu. Okay, Bu. Thank you, Bu.
Okay. Okay.
From the previous study case, ya, Bu?
Yes, right.
Okay, Bu. Thank you, Bu.
Okay. So actually, you should study all from the basic material. You can study from the simple method, simple knowledge, and you can study from the advanced. That is to improve your knowledge from the basics, so you can see all of the study cases from the advanced material. Okay, I close this session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Bu.